Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Growth Beyond Self Limits. Here we talk about elevating financially, spiritually, emotionally, and everything in between. And if you like these types of videos, I hope that you'll stick around and subscribe. So, in today's video, we're going to talk about 11 ways that I plan on saving money in 2023, as well as building habits. And I hope that these are some tips that can help you too, as well. So the first thing is meal prepping. So you want to write down what meals you plan on making and then making a grocery list. So you can do that the other way as well. How I like to do it is I will pick a protein that I want to have. So I'll pick like 2 or 3 proteins that I'm going to do for the week. And then try to think about the type of vegetable that I want to have or something simple that I know how to make. And then from there, I will plan my grocery list. So if that's something that you're interested in, a video will be coming soon on how I meal prep, some recipes that I do, and what that looks like. So the next thing that's a part of meal prepping that's really going to help save money is sticking to what you made, right? So there are going to be days where you don't feel like eating chicken breast again or spaghetti again, but you know what, you made it. You don't want to waste food, because if you waste food, you're wasting money, and the prices on food these days, even with eggs, are insane, right? So you want to make yourself eat it, because that's going to help you for tomorrow's meal. Now, it doesn't have to be, bulk meal prepping. You could do every like 4 days you make some meals, or what you like to do is have all the ingredients ready, so it's only going to take you like 10-15 minutes that day to make it, but the concept is the same. If that's what you said you're having on Tuesday, then that's what you're eating on Tuesday. If that's what you have in your refrigerator, then that's what you're going to eat instead of eating out. So when I do this, I like to make 2 meals. So that's lunch and dinner. I spend a lot of time at work. So for me, it's to avoid eating out. I need to have my lunch ready to go. And then when I come home from work, 9 out of 10, I'm too tired to make dinner. So if it's already made, ready to go, makes everything easy. Everyone can kind of heat up their own food. Makes the rest of my night go smoother, as opposed to feeling like a zombie, if we're being honest. So I will do that for about 5-6 days, because I bulk meal prep. And then I will have breakfast options. They kind of stay the same. Like I like to have oatmeal or yogurt, or maybe I'll have eggs, and then I'll have some snacks. So the snacks are open. So sometimes I will just cut up a handful of vegetables. I bought like some snack bars or pretzels or whatever it is. But it's easily accessible, easy for me to pack and go. Because again, I spend most of my day at work. But if I were to be at home on the weekends, then that also makes those options easier as well. Instead of me going out and buying chips when I'm out, or next time I go to the grocery store, I'm just buying a bunch of chips instead of like kind of planning accordingly. Like, I know that I want chips and salsa this week, or that's something I enjoy snacking on, or this is a type of snack that I want to make for the week. So making sure that you're doing that, and then having a few items that are easy in your pantry to make. So maybe you're thinking, okay, for a snack or for lunch this one day, I'm just gonna have cereal because I want to skip a day of cooking, or I just don't feel like doing it, or have some microwavable dinners that I can do, or for me, I have like some salads and stuff. So a couple of those easy pantry staple items could be cereal. Maybe you don't feel like cooking for the rest of the week. For me, sometimes it's salad or tuna. You can open a can of tuna, make it in like 3 minutes, be ready to go. For you, that could be like Lunchables, or it could be a quick, easy microwavable rice, and then something you had in your freezer, like, or pre-made meals you have in your freezer. Or I like to buy like the instant lentils that they sell at Costco. So something that's pretty simple, so it's giving yourself an opportunity for variety if you know you get bored very easily and you struggle with what I said before, like sticking to the plan. So at least like, okay, well, if I don't eat this today, if you bulk plan, then I can eat it tomorrow. I'm not going to be wasting any food, and I left some room in this plan so that I can eat different variety of things. Another thing could be a frozen pizza that you have in there. Like, it doesn't have to be super strict, but just making sure that you have a few items on hand. So the second thing is taking inventory of the supplies that you already have to ensure that you're not overbuying, or when you see something on sale that you're buying it because you think that you need it. when in reality, you could be waiting until the next month to get it. So if it doesn't make sense, like it's not 30-40% off or cheaper than it normally is, or you just don't have room in your budget for it, then you shouldn't be getting it, right? Because maybe you only budget enough for this one item and the next month you have to buy another item. But if it makes sense, then you can get it. So things you want to be checking for is hygiene products. So that's toothpaste, face wash, body wash. That would be makeup, skincare, shirts, socks, food items as well, just to make sure that it's not going to expire, you're not overbuying, vitamins, any types of medicines that you need to take. You want to take a full inventory of those items before you go out to the store or make purchases, and then making sure that you either have an electronic copy of this on your phone or in a quick notepad when you're out and about, so you're able to know what you have in stock. So the next thing would be cash envelopes to make sure that you're in alignment with your budget. So this is something that I recently started. I am in month 2 of this. I'll let you know how it goes. But if you're anything like me, it's a lot easier to just swipe your card. So obviously you have a budget, but then you see the numbers go over it. You're kind of just like, okay, well, my card's going to go through, or I can use this other card and it's going to work out, and then you end up being over. So this could mean that you are inflating your budget and this is going to put you in some type of debt, or you're just taking away from whatever your savings goals or projects were for the year. And this could be for many reasons. It's one, obviously prices have increased, or you're not sticking with your budget. But when you have cash and you kind of go on with the plan, you're a little more likely to stick to the list that you brought with you, because you kind of know, I only have this certain amount of money, and if I only bring this envelope, then some stuff's going back, right? Like if it's not what I planned for, then we're not getting it. And I kind of saw that it was helpful so far for me, just because I could reallocate certain funds to different areas. So it showed me I wasn't going beyond what the budget was, but it just wasn't saving in the way that I was hoping to. So either way, still kind of win-win, but I'll check back in with you guys on that one. So the next one is creating a budget, but not only creating a budget, but making some wiggle room in it. So your budget doesn't want to be every single penny. So obviously you do want that, like you want to have everything planned. There'll be a video for that, but you want to save like 5 to 10% for incidental. So obviously you could be putting that towards like fun, or you could be putting that towards another bill or debt or savings or whatever it is, but you just want to leave it there, because sometimes we do overspend. And if you're a person that doesn't like touching cash, or unexpected things come up, then you need to be flexible within your budget, but also give yourself room. Sometimes we forget about, this one bill you pay twice a year. For example, that could be the trash bill, or, a subscription that comes out annually. Like you pay it one time, it comes out, instead of overdrafting your account or blowing your budget, you had that little bit of a buffer sitting there. And with that in mind, the wiggle room not only comes from planning for it, but being okay mentally when the changes come. So some months you're going to be able to save more or contribute more to different things. And other months, things are just going to come up because life happens. So you may get sick. You may have co-pays that you need to do that were unplanned, doctor's appointments, veterinary expenses, extra vitamins, glasses that you needed to buy, or co-pays for the dentist, or anything like that comes up. And you have to be okay with one, being grateful that you had the funds to do it, and two, just knowing like you were able to take care of this even if you didn't have the funds for it and you put it on credit, and to know that next month you're going to slowly get back on track without it completely hurting your budget. Now, number 5 is learning to say no. So saying no to the outing, saying no to buying the food, no to whoever is asking you to go somewhere or buy something for them, or even no to giving when you know that it's beyond your budget or beyond what you're able to do. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't give. Obviously that should be in your budget, like a budget to be able to help others. But also being able to say no, like I really don't have it. Because if you're not putting yourself first and what your goals and needs are, you're not going to be able to continue to help others and do things or have the enjoyments that are important to you and to your family. So learning to say no. The next thing is trying no spend and low spend months. So obviously there's nothing as 100% you're not going to spend anything unless you live at home, you don't have any bills, or someone else is paying for everything for you. If that's the case, then great. Take full advantage of no spend months. Try that. But obviously, like, a no spend month would be something where you're only doing your necessary expenses. For me, a low spend month is I am doing my necessary expenses and then a few other things that I would like to do. And if I normally have a budget for something else, then I'm going to try to cut that in half or 25%. Whatever it is, I'm going to challenge myself to lower that amount. And so I have tried, or I'm going to try, 5 months out of the year, which is a combination of a couple no spend months and a few low spend months, which I'll also be tracking as well, and then kind of sharing the tips and tricks I did that worked well for me and that didn't work. Because obviously no one is perfect, and I don't believe it'll go 100%. And so whatever happens, I'll be sure to let you guys know how that worked, what I would do differently next time, and the things that worked out well. So another item is buying frozen and canned vegetables and foods. So I've already bought in frozen foods before, but now I'm really trying canned foods as they're cheaper and there's no longer such a heavy limits on how many canned foods, depending on where you live, such as here in California. You know, there were many places where canned items were limited anywhere between 2 to 5 per item. They still have some of those limitations. Some were even just 1 per person, per household. We all know because of the pandemic. But with things opening back up and kind of going back to some sense of normalcy, it's easier to buy canned goods, and canned goods are generally cheaper than frozen foods, and obviously frozen foods are a lot cheaper than fresh. So doing a combination of that, I personally always like to do frozen, and now I'm doing canned. They may not taste exactly the same, but with some seasonings and you're just mixing it with the rest of your food, you're still getting the vitamins that you need while saving money. And if you don't, bulk meal plan, it's going to last a little bit longer. It's going to save you 1 extra trip going to the store. It's also going to take up less space in your refrigerator, and you can put that in your freezer or in your pantry. So if you have less space, if you have a smaller freezer, then you're going to opt for the canned goods. And if your refrigerator is kind of packed from trying to have fresh items, then this gives you alternative ways. And included in that is shop what you have at home. Now, the next thing is continuing to buy things during the holidays or sales. So a couple times a year, we have Black Friday, we have Cyber Monday, we have the mid-year sales, like when the summer ends, and then shopping off season. So I like to buy like any skincare, makeup, hair products during the 2 major sales of the year, which is Black Friday or Cyber Monday / the very new year, like right towards the end of the year. There's a giant sale for that. And then for clothes items, depending on where you live, if it's kind of, all seasons round, or you need a layer, then that's when I will buy like the extra undershirts or sweaters that I need, because then I'll have an opportunity to wear it year round, but I'll also save money instead of paying full price. Or if you have kids, it's good to buy things 1 size or 2 sizes up off season as well, and that's going to help you save some money. And then there are different stores, so like if you like to buy candles or you like to buy makeup, they have different sales throughout the year. So I definitely recommend that you learn when they are and then plan to save your money to do it then. So next is share subscriptions or bundle. So if you don't have anyone that you can share with, you should look into bundling, because you can save money. So if there are like 2 or 3 apps that you need, then, or like online services that you have, I'm sure you'll be able to find a way to save some type of money. For example, having a cell phone bill, you can always use your cell phone carrier to be the same as your internet service. You don't have to do this, but there's generally some type of incentive plan to make it cheaper for you. And then the more services that you have with them, the bigger the discount they're going to give you. And that's the same thing with car insurance. So the more cars and vehicles you have on an insurance policy, and you throw in things like renter's insurance, or things for like boats or properties or anything that you can think of, that generally lowers your overall rate. So not only are you saving on the general, but you're also saving on any add-ons that you needed already. So something like Netflix or Hulu can sometimes be bundled in with your phone plan, or they'll have a promotional deal where they'll say, okay, well, if you join with us or you've been with us, then you can get it for like $30 for the whole year for Netflix, or it'll always be free for Disney Plus as long as you have your phone bill with us, and then you can also get Hulu or something of that sort. Now, a final option would be there are so many free streaming services or things you can buy, like a Fire Stick, to just completely get rid of the need for the subscription as well. Now, my next tip is monthly subscription checks. So you could be doing something like Thrive or Instacart or delivery services. So making sure that you're taking a moment to really check your billing statements for your credit cards, your debit cards, to kind of see what's coming out, because it could be something that you thought you were paying for when you needed it, or randomly, and it turns out they're charging you every single month, or that you thought you paid for annually, which was like a cheaper cost as opposed to paying monthly, but instead you're getting double the payment. Recently, I've been hearing some stories where people said they had an old account that was supposed to be like a subscription, a temporary trial, and then they went to cancel it, and they thought they canceled it, and they didn't, and then later in life they signed up for another one, but this whole time they had been charged for both subscriptions. So the original trial one plus the new one that they had started maybe like a year or 6 months later, they had been paying for over a year or so for both of these. So it's really good to kind of check and see what's coming out of your accounts. Now, my final tip is a weekly reset. Like, check in with how your whole week went. And then you can even take this one step further and do a monthly reset. But at the end of the week, you want to see what events did you attend? How well did you stick to your budget? You know, how over or under or in alignment were you with what you had expected to happen and the other items that really did. So I hope you guys enjoyed these 11 tips on how to save money in 2023 and ways to build habits. These are definitely some tips that I'm personally practicing. Please feel free to comment below what you're doing to save money this year, as well as build new habits. If you like these types of videos on finance, self-improvement, elevating, and wellness, I hope that you'll stick around and subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.